Um, we have gathered again, and today's class is on the subject theory of conflict, peace, and security. So let us look at it. Let us discuss about it. Let us talk about it. So now, introductory part. Conflict is as old as mankind. It's a silent feature of the humanity in a society. Conflict is as old as man. In other words, there's nothing you can do in this world to prevent conflict. Why? Anybody, any idea? There's nothing you can do to prevent conflict. Can somebody tell me anything you can do to prevent conflict?
There's nothing you can do.
Just be loud enough with your mic.
Okay.
I would like to know if there is anything anybody can do to prevent conflict as human.
There's nothing anybody can do.
Nothing. Why is it like that?
Because it's bound to happen.
It's bound to happen.
Because
Why?
without conflict, the society will not move forward. when you have a conflict and then try to resolve it, you try to learn and then move higher from the experience of the conflict.
But society can still move on without conflict.
Yeah, they can still move on without conflict, but you cannot really avoid it totally. It will surely come in one way or the other.
What do you think, Seppi? You think conflict can be avoided?
Oh, I think can.
Can. How? In this world?
Just be kind, like a control. I think the policymaker or the leader should try to control the conflict with it.
But
Yeah.
how about you as personal?
Sometimes conflict is not among me with the others, but also among us as individual, like me and myself.
But that's what I'm saying. How can you control it? How can it be avoided?
Cannot.
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 That's the point.
I think cannot.
Okay. Anybody, any different opinion? Mike, what you have to say about conflict? Can it be avoided, do you think?
I don't think conflicts can be avoided because even as human beings, within ourselves, we fight. There are battles. Even within ourselves, we have conflicts within ourselves. So it's always it's always conflict is part of us. It's part of mankind. So I don't think it can be avoided, no matter how you try. The only thing is you can resolve it. It will come up and you have to find a way to resolve it, but it cannot be avoided.
Wow, Edu. What do you think about conflict and the society?
Well, there's nothing to do to stop conflicts. Why I say that is we as a human being, we have our individual differences. We have our own perspective, the way we view things, and our own methodologies. So I don't think it can be avoided. It will always clash. Using working environments as an example, where Mr. A and Mr. B are being given projects to work on, and Mr. A prefer using the traditional method in his own idea or her own idea, while Mr. B will likely want to try the newer or riskier approach. So with this disagreement between them, it's likely to create it will create tension among them, thereby leading to conflict because of it.
Okay, so now let's get to the PowerPoint. Excuse me. Many reasons are behind the origin of conflict in our society. Conflict is generally considered as a tendency. You look at that? tendency to perform two or more incompatible responses at the same time. The resulting in emotions, mental, and physical levels. Tendency to perform two or more incompatible responses at the same time. Are you there? Men must fight even if they do not possess arms. Listen, men must fight even if they do not possess arms or when tools of violence are not within reach. When there are no arms to fight, men will fight even with their bare fists. Are you there? From birth, baby begins journey of conflict by crying. Nga, nga. We all did it. Which is a flash of conflict. As he or she grows up, he or she bites with his teeth or scratches with his or her nails on his or her tiny fingers when he or she is upset. Are you there? This presupposes that men will continue to fight as long as they have emotions that they have the potential to love or hate, to be happy or sad, to be pleased or angry. Are you there? So conflict will even start even in our mother's womb. Somebody may hate you just because you are looking good. How can you solve it? Any idea? Somebody don't like you simply because you are looking good. You can't control the person, but then what are you going to do? Because if you are in a classroom with the same person, if you make an suggestion, he or she may be attacking your suggestion or idea, trying to create a situation that he wouldn't like you to become, you wouldn't be comfortable with. How are you going to do it?
Well, personally, I won't allow people's perception to be my reality. You get so. In as much as I know that what I'm doing is right, and I don't have right to control your emotions. I only have right to control mine, and I know that what I'm doing, I'm enjoying it. Like I like
But
what I'm doing, so I don't have.
what if the majority in that particular classroom, they are having this problem with you, and yet you are correct, you are right. You owe nobody any explanation. This is what, and what you are doing is actually very right thing to do. But simply because you are too intelligent, too smart, very bright, jealousy comes in. And in the classroom, you found yourself being in the midst of the wolves. If I may use the word. So,
Like I said, like I
it's
said
very easy to
before,
say, "How I
there's
don't
not no there's nothing you do because you won't control crowd's emotion. Like you won't direct person on how the person
Do
will
you feel
perceive
comfortable
you.
about it?
So long I might not feel comfortable,
Then
quite
you don't feel
alright.
comfortable.
I
How will
might
you
not
control
feel
it?
comfortable, but so long as I know that what I'm doing is right, I don't have to allow you people to dictate my emotions.
Action.
Yeah.
But in reality, maybe you can fight back.
Why will I fight back? How will you fight back?
Okay, now, let me give you an example.
How will I fight back?
The last class we had, peace and governance.
Yes.
I remember that the man of the was outstanding as a
Yes.
lecturer.
Yes.
But I know fairly correct that each time he wants to talk, all of you, many students will be good. You know, we need to, and yeah, this is a student that is very, very critical minded. And that's what it should be. And that's what classroom should be. I mean,
No, you don't. No, I think you misunderstood us.
no,
Let me use that word.
I
Wait,
did not.
no, let me use that word. What's Emmanuel? What's a number? What this guy usually does was maybe if you he always like you to agree in his own point of view.
That's not his point.
That is it. That's how we view it. He always want you to support that his idea.
He's always
Whether he's right or wrong.
That's
You
the
always
perception of what you think you was doing.
that is it. That's why I said that you are misunderstanding us. You are misunderstanding us.
You may be very correct as you, but that may not be the same thing that Mike is the intention of Mike, or intention of Chelsea, or intention of other people.
Is it not your intention? I think like 95 no like 95 like no 95% of let me say 95% of us in this class always complain about that. That's just it. He always want you to agree to support him in that
misunderstanding how to argue critically.
but that doesn't mean that we will support his point of view.
He's not forcing you to support. He was strong and passionate about his idea. Being strong and passionate about your idea does not mean that you are forcing people to support you. You are just persuading because he was just being persuasive.
Taking it personal.
He's not taking. I'm not saying.
He's taking it personal at times.
Taking personal. He was just being persuasive and passionate about his point.
Well, that's what I observe in this. I don't know about it.
I'm just trying to let us understand the way conflict even in the classroom, even among us. Somebody may differ, may have dissenting view, may have dissenting idea. The way he was wired or structured to present himself must not be the way you should.
That is it. Everybody has his or her own. Everyone has his or own points of view.
Someone may not like
his opinion.
You know that when you want to talk, you talk brilliantly, very diplomatic, simple, and smart way to put it. Right? That's as a teacher. That's my observation. But you know, it's possible that maybe one or two person that whenever you go there, they will, this guy.
No, it's possible, yeah. It's possible.
That is it.
It tends to happen.
That is it. So we don't need to be talking about conflict and government. No. Let's start from here.
But not only in class, it's everywhere. It happens.
Yeah, we have to start here so that we
even we
you see why.
Personally, you fight yourself at times.
Yes, that was for sure, but for us to be aware of it. Because sometimes what we want to happen. If it doesn't happen, then there's a problem. And when there's a problem, that's conflict.
Yeah.
Hello? Any other person? So look at what we're saying now. Let me go back again. Men must fight, even if they do not possess arms or when tools of violence are not within reach. It's not a question of like that. It's not a must that the person should have a gun or begin to fight physically. So, when there are no arms to fight, are you there? Hello, guys. Chika, I'm not seeing you. Okay. When there are no arms to fight, men will fight even with their bare feet. From birth, baby begins to the journey of conflict by crying. Do you agree with that? Which is a flash of conflict. As he grows up, he or she, he bites with his teeth or scratches with his nails or his tiny fingers when he is upset, he or she, of course. This presupposes that men will continue to fight as long as they have emotions, that they have the potential to love or hate, to be happy or sad, to be pleased or angry. Even some people, they have conflict simply because they love you and you're not showing the attention. And you are not reciprocating. Am I communicating? Some people may just don't like you because you are giving attention to someone else, but he or she likes you. Okay, hold it there. So long as a man has other men around him, there will be issues of disagreement because interest differs and interest do flash. Men here means humanity, human being, both male and female. Understand that? Okay. Viewed from an extreme and religious perspective, conflict represents one of the two natures of man. Man here means both male and female. Evil, cooperation, its opposition embodies the second, which is the good nature of man. The foregoing does not suggest that there are no specific causes of conflict. Conflict arises from different reasons, and there are different types of conflict in human society. Any question here? Any clarification? Conflict. Somebody may have conflict because of the kind of tie I'm having. Why am I wearing this kind of suit? Why am I standing? Someone may begin to even have conflict. Why am I not sitting? And someone may have conflict. Why am I recording my class? You see that? And somebody may have conflict because I am no longer asking you to watch the YouTube. I may ask you to watch my own channel. So it becomes an offense. But if I tell you to watch another person's, it's not an offense. And that becomes a conflict for this guy. So, conflict, the holy war. What is conflict? Conflict is an existing state of disagreement or hostility between two or more people. By this, it means that two or more parties do not have an accord and are as such on two different parallels of the same issue. It suggests the pursuit of incompatible goals. Put differently, conflict means collision, cause. It also refers to opposition to existing view and stand or position. I'm religiously a liberal-minded person. I believe you can be a Catholic. I believe you can be a Pentecostal. I believe you can be an African traditionalist. I believe you can be a Buddhist. I believe you can be a Hinduist. You get that? But because you believe only one, conflict has existed. Why? Why is it like that? I need your answer.
Because you're not agreeing on the other person.
Just, do you have why? I am a religious pluralist, suggesting that I'm a liberal in terms of religion. As a Catholic, wonderful. As a Protestant, wonderful. As an African traditionalist, wonderful. As a Buddhist, wonderful. As Hinduist, what I tell you is there are so many religions. They are all important and not one. But you believe only in one. Why should there be a conflict, Mr. Shaker?
Yeah, there should be conflict because their perception or their perspective with yours does not align. And most times, when you try to discuss something relating to your own religion, they will not accept it from their own perspective. So indirectly, it's bringing a conflict between the two religions.
And then why? Because if Jesus comes here, I'm sure he may not have a problem with Ibrahim, Muhammad.
Yeah, because
Lord Jude,
if the man Jesus comes in here, there won't be any problem. But the Bible, the Quran, the Bible have different versions. They are the same, but have different way of interpretation.
Then that interpretation, why then the way
is human-made interpretation.
You see that?
Is human-made interpretation, thereby causing conflict between humans.
Are you the one making it, or myself?
What?
Are you the one that made it, or me? Because it must be you or me that made it.
Humans in general, because
that means that it must be you or myself.
It might be you, it might be me, it might be anyone. Because the way I understand the Bible and the way he might understand Hinduism or Quran will be different from another person who is practicing the same religion.
Exactly.
All right. So if I'm a Christian, my understanding about the Bible is different, and he is a Christian, his understanding about the Bible is different. Right. So it might as well cause a conflict.
Yeah, correct.
Where these have a wrong perception, I have a wrong perception, and he has a right perception. So we can be arguing over something that is not even worth arguing about.
Exactly. So, any other contribution about that? Okay, Emmanuel want to say something. Emmanuel Obi. Again, we have three Emmanuels in this class.
In addition to what you
Conflict
said,
means collision cause. It also refers to opposition to existing view, stand or position. So, Emmanuel Obi, any comment?
in addition to what you just said now, if we look around the world, the most the most conflict we have in the world now, if you count one, count two, from one to three, you must include religious war. And in my own view, first, I will say that the reasons all these things is happening is just because they are fighting for superiority. For example, Catholic, Anglican, Pentecostal, all the religions in the world, both Islam, they are fighting just one, the one they see as the superior.
Mm-hmm.
And this seen as a conflict of conflict who will be the king among the others first. Now, the ideology of a Christian is far different with ideology of an Islam. And it happens that the people who are interpreting those Qurans and Bibles, when four people claims to be right and there is no wrong, you will see that in total there is what there is a complicity in what they are saying. Because four people cannot make good. There must be wrong person there. And if you look around the world now, no one have ever accepted that my religion is getting it wrong. Rather, what we will be seeing is the positive aspect of it. And there is no religion now that always criticize or say, okay, what Islam is doing is not good and what Christian is doing is not good. The both are they see each other that we are doing the right thing. And you cannot select the good from the bad and select the bad from the good because nobody accepts any mistake and they are not ready to compromise in a situation whereby you are fighting for superior and the ideology you are impacting in others and they are transferring the information to the first, second, third generation. If what you are interpreting there is wrong, it means that you have already give out a wrong information to first, second, third, fourth generation, and they will come up and live with that information without anybody educating them or sensitizing them on the good aspect of it. So my view on this is that first, they are fighting for superiority. Second, the ideology differs. And what is contained in the Quran may be good. I said, in quote, may be good. But the person interpreting that may give it a wrong interpretation, thinking that he's interpreting a good aspect of it. Likewise, in the Bible, something that is in all the words that is written in the Bible may be good or may be bad, but it depends on the teacher, on the person that is giving out the information, how he managed to construct his own approach or how he managed to arrange the patterns of his words may consider to be good or bad. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Any other person, anything to add?
Okay,
Emmanuel Ngozi.
we are talking about conflicts, which I believe that not only in a religious issue, both politically and even family, we all have conflicts all around the world. But relating to what he said, let me pick a point from where he said that nobody or Christians, they believe that everybody believe that what he or she is doing or what their religion is doing is the right thing. I think we have to reframe on that because, for example, there are people in Muslim or in Christian who also see the bad about the Muslim, but they also talk. But the question is, are they the rightful authority to speak about that? So why am I saying this? For example, if I say that this is bad in Christian, maybe as another ordinary person, you people will tell you, oh, it's just a nonsense. You will only hear or you will only agree that what I'm saying is good when I become the Pope. If the Pope say that this is bad and this is good, everybody will embrace it like, oh, this guy is good. But when I, as an ordinary person, is saying it, nobody believe because I am not in the rightful authority to say that. So also, there are many people who speak against the evil that they are doing in religion that are also in that religion, but because of their position, nobody is concurring on what they are saying. So on that aspect, I think conflict in a religion also is something that because we all are human beings from different obedient sagacity, we have different meaning, different understanding, and different way we analyze our own issues. So far we have this, we will always have a conflict. So, but what matters is how are we able to handle the conflict and how are we able to address the issue? It is our own individual or personal mindset to do what, to know, to address it in such a way that it will not resort to violence or it will not cause a war. But we can diplomatically disagree in order to agree. It's
Okay,
also a conflict.
wonderful.
But how we analyze it, how we
But
carry
how
it
do we
out.
stop it? How do we avoid conflict as people? Who
So,
can give me any clue? As people, how could we possibly checkmate conflict? Who knows the idea? Can you give him mic to let's hear what he says? Pardon?
It's just to maintain peace.
How can you maintain peace in the conflict?
Conflict have to deal with personal understanding. If we as human beings can,
But we don't always agree. We
that's
don't
what I'm
always
saying.
agree in religions.
That is
In
what
fact, we don't even agree sexuality of what somebody has chosen. We don't even agree on social life. Some people want to stay inside. They don't want to talk too much. And sometimes we want to force them to share their ideas. We don't always agree. Even in a PowerPoint presentation, everybody will have different, different PowerPoint presentations. So how do we avoid it?
it's just to try as much as possible to accept ourselves. That's all. Just accept.
What if you accept yourself and the other person doesn't want to accept you?
That is why I said it's just for us. That's why I use the word us to accept ourselves.
How can?
Well, like I said, I will use an example of when we did IS last semester. Definition of terms. Tell me your terms, and I'll follow you with your terms. So you first of all try to understand the person terms, and then follow the person according to his or her terms.
Actually, this is a very
simple.
wonderful answer that
Thank you.
I least expected that any of you can answer. Academically, that is the perfect answer to say, hey, I am Emmanuel, and this is my methodology, and this is my book. And when I say religion, look at what I mean. When I say sex, look at what I mean. When I say exercise. Look at what I mean. Because someone might mean exercise to mean only jogging. Another person might mean exercise in his paper might mean only aerobic. They call it aerobic, right? Aerobic. Huh? Exercise. That is what he's referring to. Another person might be the only exercise is football. Another person is only running around. You talk about sexuality. Another person, what it means in sexuality means a sex between man and a woman. Another person means a sex between man and a man, a woman and a woman. And that is his own what? Pepper. I don't know if you get the point. Then when somebody means that somebody is a saint, it means that he's maybe as a Catholic, he says his rosary all the time, full rosary all the time, and visit Blessed Sacrament. And that's what he considers to be an upright person. For a Pentecostal, might be someone who wears a very nice clothes. If it's a woman, covers he doesn't wear earring and stuff like that. And that is upright person. If he or she is writing a paper, it means that he or she must define what he means by that. So if you decide to read the book or the paper, you understand the person according to his or her paper to avoid unnecessary conflict. Then if you want to write counter, you might write a review, you might write antithesis, you might write something that you are referring to that in order to counter what he said. But for you to come into his paper, to begin to mark his paper or her paper, begin to cross-check, this is wrong, you are looking for trouble. So I think Sheikh, you made a very wonderful point there. If you don't want to read, maybe you have already stereotyped the person, then run away from his paper or her paper, then read. Nobody will force you. Just like you enter somebody's room, if you notice that this person, you don't like this particular person, you don't like his lifestyle, why are you going to, why are you even relating with the person? Why are you even relating with the person? Because gossiping against the person doesn't solve the problem. You just get yourself out from the person because you are not the God of the person. You are not the person that created the person. There are some people that came into this world, they are simply introverts. They keep quiet. You can't force the person to be extrovert. It's not possible. And there are people that are extroverted person. You can't force them to be quiet. No. And there are people that want to move around every time. You can't force them. If he doesn't move around, he's not feeling comfortable. Comfortability is only. Why are you laughing? Or am I talking to someone? You see that? So we have two characters here already. And that the problem is that when the other one wants the other one to behave like him, or that is the issue. When shall we in this world learn to be ourselves? There's no need gossiping against, or even somebody calling you on phone to talk about somebody, and the only thing he called you on phone to talk about is that this person has been indoor, it doesn't come out, it doesn't move out. Why is it not? Come on. And you pick that call without warning the person never to call you again, if this is what the call is meant for. Or somebody will call you to say, ah, look at this guy. He's fucking around everywhere. He moves around and then he doesn't have anything. He jump from one gate to another, or jump from one man to another. Come on. And that is the call you picked. Hello? Are you guys there? Because this is one of the major reasons why conflict is everywhere. Most importantly from developing countries. Most importantly from developing countries. I don't know why it's like that. We think poverty has entered into our brain and has destroyed our system. In fact, poverty has done a lot of things to us. Because sometimes I tend to think that once you are mentally poor, intellectually poor, there will always be conflict. Because you're not comfortable with yourself. If you are not comfortable with yourself and your status, how can you be comfortable with another person? Hello? Are you there? I think Emmanuel has a question.
I have a question.
Okay.
Still standing on my existing protocol, I still remember my humble self, Ngozi Emmanuel. I have I have a question on this. On conflict, because he said that we just allow everything to go without this. Then my question goes like this. If you are maybe you have been looking for job for almost 10 years,
Looking for job for 10 years? You go and rest now.
maybe you have been looking for job.
Do you know what it's 10? You didn't say 10 days, 10 weeks, 10 months. No, just 10 years. You are looking for job.
In some countries, you are even more than 20 years, you don't have no option that
Oh my God.
maybe. Okay, just a question. So if you are looking for job, maybe you have been looking for job almost 10 years, you graduate, and eventually you got a job, maybe eventually you got a job, so and that job in that particular office, you have to work with him. Then you have no other option, or you don't have any other opportunity to get another work. Then working with him, you notice that maybe the perfume he sprays, whenever you come to the office, you always vomit, or it always harm your body. Then you try to complain, he don't care. So how will you address the issue? Are you going to allow it to be going, or you just resign from the work because of his perfume? How are you going to?
Because of his perfume.
How are you going to? Those masks in your face.
Okay, now, two options is there for you. First, you have to value your work. You have to value your work. If you don't value your work, then it means all those years you have been staying alone, it's just a waste of time. You are deceiving yourself. Any work that you found and it took you more than 2, 3 years to get, and at the end you got the job, and the challenge there is because of ordinary perfume, and you want to resign. It means you are not serious with
You
your
call it
work.
ordinary perfume.
Yes.
But it's making him to vomit.
It's making you have already know that this is a problem you have developed, and it is for you in your own side. You have to work on your body first. First, there is alternative. Is either when if you are coming to work, you put on your nose mask first. Second, is you have to just leave it for that for some period. Just don't resign. Manage it. Manage the work, because there is a situation that if you find yourself, you have no other option than to tackle that challenge. So you don't need to put a resignation letter. If you are putting a resignation letter, I'm just in my own view, I will see it as that you don't even value the work. Because if you value the work, you will find another alternative. Because number one is that the person will not use because of you to change that perfume. The perfume may be the highest flavor. That is the highest thing he just value. So you are telling the person, you are just trying to step on his toes. Though there is a manner, there is an approach that when you use on the person may understand you. It depends on the type of person that is in the office. So if the person fail to understand you, you have to work on your own side, not his. When you are trying to force yourself or force the person to stop the perfume, you are stepping on his toes and you are acting beyond your jurisdiction. So what you have to do is for you to find your own alternative. Work on yourself. Is either you continue to endure it. Vomiting will not kill you because we normally vomit. If you eat, you vomit. If you eat what is not good in your body, you can vomit. You will keep on enduring. What you have to do is just to pray so that God will change that particular person in that position. But the person will not give up on
Where is
you.
God?
The person will not give up on you. And if even though you
So
went
God
to
will,
the
you pray for God to sack the other person so that you stay or what?
not sacking. Maybe no, the person may wait. The person may get another promotion. Yes, So he may not he will not sit in that office for very long time, too much time.
So do you agree with his advice?
We get promotion. So you will be paying for his promotion.
By the way, let me even add to what you said. Somebody like me will never stay in that place for 1 minute because I have that what do you call it? Allergic to anything, perfume or what. The only thing for me, I would just seek to look if there is any other place a staff can stay. I would not, it's not possible. I can't even. He's talking about vomiting. My own is beyond vomiting. I'm even faint.
Yeah, it's like
Okay, continue.
So thank you very much for that preamble. You're already taking the answer out of my mouth. As trivial as this question sounds, yeah, I want to state on my own that it's actually serious. And then on that note too, I want to also mention that conflict also have its own geographical dimension. I hope I'm getting it right. Like, what is conflict or what can lead to conflict in Africa might not cause conflict in Europe. And then what can cause conflict in Europe might not cause conflict in Africa. So, like in the Western countries, as little as complain of mental health, someone can win a very massive case, just maybe the way he or she is being addressed or talked to, the way he or she feels. And then let alone the one that has gone to complete health to the point of vomiting, it is serious. Health is wealth, they say. To us, that we live hard life from the part of the world we come from, so we feel like we die here is a good slogan. We can manage it. And
I manage it in the airplane.
Yeah.
I managed it in the. That was Austrian airline, and I fainted,
Yeah, it's
which
possible.
caused the flight to emergency landing,
Ah.
but could not land simply because it's an Indian Ocean. So a call was
No land zone.
the
No land
doctor. They called for help. In every airplane, they normally call for about 2 doctors. They have to come, and they wanted to inject me, but luckily for me, I regained consciousness. I said no. They allowed me to stay somewhere else because I was sitting with some, I don't know the country. You are forced to sit because this is our airplane, right? Yeah. So this is your number, and you're forced to stay there. I knew I will not last, but I don't know what to do. Even when you want to hang around, I was moving around. At a stage, I would become a security
Air pressure.
issue. So I have to go back again. Before I knew what is happening, I couldn't.
Yeah. So
human body, everybody has his own makeup or whatever.
yeah. So like I was saying, this question involves a threat to someone's health, which is also tantamount to threat to life. How can you be vomiting all day of your life in a job? And vomiting is not just the part we see throwing out physically. It is something that must have reacted from the inside, then leading to the outside reaction you throwing out. So how long would you want to vomit in a job? So anyway, I'm not a medical doctor, so we go to the solution or the management. In this kind of case, we come back to you can decide to consider certain things, which might include distancing, and then in every conflict, communication is very important. Both the conflict and the resolution or the management, you try to communicate either to the person or to the third party. I believe by the time this course progresses, there will be some of these things that will come up. So, but don't die in silence. Even if it's your boss, there must be a way to communicate. And mind you, communication is verbal. It's not only verbal. There are several other places, but it starts with the verbal that we know. Then you let the person know. You can also keep away, and the person notices the distance and know that your life is at stake here. You are very serious to talk about your health first, because you have to be alive to continue working. If you die or they eventually take you to the hospital, how serious will you be in the job again? So, communication in this case, with whoever it is. Meanwhile, he has to be polite, he has to be appealing, and then whether junior or senior, because what you do, one man's food is another man's poison. That's how they say. But with good communication and understanding, yeah, this can also be managed or even generally be resolved. Thank you very much. And your social
Okay.
distancing at that period too.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, as we move on, it says, conflict exists when any potential positions of two behavior units are mutually incompatible. You are a constructivist, I'm a liberalist. Incompatible. Because you are a conservativist, therefore, you want to impose that on me. I'm a liberalist, therefore I want to impose that on you. These are two behavioral units that are mutually incompatible. Are you guys there? He went further to say, a classic understanding of conflict is a dynamic phenomenon. It changes. One actor is reacting to what another actor is doing, which leads to further action. Are you guys there? One actor is reacting to what another actor is doing, which leads to further action. I'm a Catholic. I say my rosary, and I visit my Blessed Sacrament. I feel I'm at home with my God. Then you're a Pentecostal. You want to tell me that I am worshiping Mary simply because I say my rosary. You see that? The one actor is reacting to what another actor is doing, which leads to further actions. Okay, I'm socially liberal. I want to go out and take people around, and we go and talk and talk and talk. And then another one will feel that, why am I having so many friends? Why am I always moving around? Come on. Are you there? Quickly, the conflict escalates when someone enters into another territory. If you're a Catholic, be a Catholic. I'm a Catholic. If you're Pentecostal, you're Pentecostal. If you're a Buddhist, you're Buddhist. If you're whichever one, that is you. Don't cross over to tell the other what to do. By the way, I remember in those days, Ahmad Jehovah. Is it Ahmad Jehovah? The one that will just go into your house. Even when you pursue them, they want to. they must force Jesus in you. Is it no Jehovah? And eventually, nowadays, I don't know. I think all that they say is actually happening. I don't know. They appear to be realists too. Because I'm thinking what they were saying in those days. Okay, that is an attraction. One consequence of event follows another, and it's difficult to decipher which party is more responsible for what happens. In popular understanding, it is expressed that it takes two to conflict. It takes two to conflict. Oh, come on. If I'm sexually liberal, that is my life. Come on, please. And if you are sexually conservative, that is your life. Come on. Why are you bothering about another person's choice of lifestyle? Why should that be your problem? If I decide to be a Buddhist, come on, this is my life. Are you going to die with me? I thought you're a Christian, you say that God will say, Jesus will say, those who did good at the right hand side, and those who did bad at the wrong hand. Wait for that day for Jesus to do that. Do not be that deputy Jesus for now. Worse still, when your life has not even improved better than mine, or better than the other person, you want to change, want to fit into what you want to do. Take this very seriously. One actor is reacting to what another actor is doing, which leads to further action. Quickly, the conflict escalates.
It's a good example of what was just.
Exactly, correct. Are you there? Can you take the mic so that we hear you? These are pastors. Let me know what pastor will say. This one I talk about God.
Nothing, Pastor. Yes, sir. So I just want you to balance the equation. Okay, if somebody is sexually frugal, like he lives his life recklessly, right?
He live
his life
recklessly.
Yes,
And then what should that be your problem?
And based on your
Well, how do you define recklessness?
no now
Because sexuality is also a healthy aspect of living.
Let me put my question.
Oh,
down.
no, okay, continue.
Okay, then,
because you started with saying that he says he lives life recklessly. From what moral background, ethical
recklessly
perspective are you
can
coming
be
from?
overdoing things.
Yeah, hitting the background, but at least the premise must be okay. Continue.
You know what I'm talking about.
Continue.
Anything,
but you use the word recklessly and use the word says.
Prof.
Okay.
Anything,
I answer. Okay, continue.
anything you are doing beyond the limit is reckless.
Everything. What?
You are doing beyond the limit.
Beyond the limit. Who defines the beyond?
That's my definition.
That's what I'm saying. Who defines it? You see that? Who defines the limit?
Prof, this is my question. Now.
Who defines the limit? Now you or me?
Prof. Then, okay, now for example now, let's say that I drink carelessly, understand?
You drink what?
Let's say that I drink.
I have problem with the concept when you say care because you have to
now wait, Prof.
No, you have to define what is recklessly or carelessly.
You are just trying to.
So that you have to define your term.
You are just trying to elaborate something. So, Prof,
okay,
you know what I'm talking about. So,
stop confusing us. You have to define your term.
I'm not confusing. We are adults. We are not kindergarten children.
Okay, continue.
Now, if what concerns him telling me that the way I'm living is not okay, but can we also apply the situation if the consequence comes? And can I tell you, don't disturb me for me to contribute money for your health issues? Does it also apply to it? That is it.
Yeah, of course, you have the right.
Because if the problem starts now, they will come to the community. Please let us come for this person. So that is it. So does it also apply that? Don't disturb me too for my money.
Yeah, that's very correct.
So that's but that contributes for you. They say this guy is wicked. Why am I wicked? When you are drinking it, it's
actually this is a wonderful.
To balance it.
This is
they say it's good.
This is a powerful. This is a powerful example. I don't know the answer. Who can? This is I hands up because this is a powerful allusion. This is a very powerful allusion that I don't know how to handle it.
See, for me, I don't like you say that if the person run mad, Abi, and you didn't, for example, and fall sick, and you didn't come through for the person, and people will start like saying that you are wicked. For me personally, so long as when you're living the life or when you're doing that I caution you, but you throw it to the wind. I won't even I won't bother myself. I won't even listen to what people are saying. I won't allow people's perception to define my reality. You get? I won't even do as if I won't even do as if I'm even living to start with, because I've already warned you. So that is it. Unless you want people to be. Yes, now. The recklessness.
Okay, I understood where it's coming from. He's saying that the reason why he brought this up is because I was saying this is my life. Don't get into my life.
Yeah. But when you fall into problem,
when I fall into the problem, I don't expect you to come.
Yeah.
Because there is but however, in a genuine and responsible democratic society, there is a place for the mad people. Once you run mad, society will always take you to that particular place. Yeah, that's the point. We are running in the street. Then we go to. There are people who are there are people whose responsibility is to sanitize the street. So when you have committed and you now run mad, there are people to take care of mad people, not me. I will be one of those running away. Okay,
Action has consequences. Any action you take,
31,000 baht. Then you allow the person because he has chosen. Oh, come on, I will agree with him.
every action,
Do you know how I suffered to be where I am today? Do you know what I've sacrificed? Do you know that? Do you know I have not slept yesterday? For me to teach this class, I have to read and read and read until about 4 a.m. I have suffered a lot. Come on, give me a break. Justice requires that if I've chosen this part of life, face it. If the one I'm chosen, allow me to face it. Responsibility,
exactly.
accountability.
Every action has consequences, and
Yes. What happened between me and you? Can you give? Let him define what happened between me and him. Dari, for Professor Dari,
Okay, Prof.
he's a lecturer.
So let's say between me and you now. Between me and you now. The person in question, despite his lifestyle, but he gives you your respect, never step on your toes, and that problem arises. Can you between me and I can say that you neglect that person with the type of person you are?
Okay, now
No, can you neglect such a person?
you see, we now get into a personal chosen lifestyle, a personal thing that might make me to sacrifice beyond despite standard and principle. But when we talk about principle is general. And when we are talking about this in the table of this conflict, that reason why conflict come is because you are living your own life and you left your own life, you want to impose it on me. Okay, now, with the example you have given, there are personal things that I may consider personally, despite the fact that I have warned the person, despite the fact that I've told the person whatever. So it may be possible depending on the situation. Remember, okay, you're not in the class. We talked about ethics last time. We talked about absolutism. Do you still remember? Absolutism and then relativism. Absolutism is that if you have committed exactly the example we are giving, allow the person to face the consequence. But the relativist will say, okay, despite the fact that he has committed, we will still have a way of trying to, because he's human, maybe there are circumstances that led to that, or maybe if we help him, he might come out in life again. That goes back to the school of thought.
We is a collective statement.
Pardon?
We is a collective now.
Who is there?
We is a collective, not personal again. We say we can help. It's a collective statement.
Okay, yeah.
Not personal again. Because for me to talk to this man now means that I have a personal relationship with him. Because I cannot just go and advise this man.
But if you have a personal relationship, why are you not advising him to get out from that?
No.
You said me right now.
That's why I'm wrapping it up on it that how should I now force my own conviction on him?
I don't think I've ever gone into that situation when I keep on telling somebody something and the person made a mistake. I doubt if I've ever, personally, if I've ever gotten into that. In fact, if you call my number, I don't even pick calls when I should suppose, needless to think about.
this might get question. I don't catch prof.
The question I want to ask him is, we are talking about interference, jumping into people's idea, because I will call it an idea. Anything you fabricated on your own self and decided to execute that is your own ideology.
Exactly.
And if anybody interfere on that, the person is acting beyond his or her own jurisdiction. Now, there is unforeseen incident that occurs in human nature and may not be personal, may be personal.
May not be what?
May not be personal,
Uh-huh.
may be personal. Now, in related
Which
to wait,
how can it may not be personal? May be personal.
there
This is like a tautology. Or
it's
whatever.
not a tautology. There are
Then-
things that happen. There are incidents that occurs in
May
human
not
life.
be personal.
It may
be
not.
personal.
Yes, it may not be personal to you, but it may be personal. There are things that takes two position in life. Now, in related to what he just asked, that should I or should he help someone who said that you should not interfere? And you forget that there are things that will happen to you yourself that is trying to accept interference. For example, I don't want to interfere in his. This is a person I don't want to interfere in anything he's doing. Like he has already told me, don't interfere in my own private life. And in that life he's living, one got him in trouble and he's looking for help. And I used because he has already told me do not interfere and neglected that emergency I
Don't
should
forget,
help.
Doc, this concept is not Christian concept.
Yes, I'm not putting
This
it.
is not
Yes,
about Bible.
yes, yes.
This is
It's not about
going
Bible.
to
No,
hell
no,
or
no, no,
going to
no, no.
hellfire. This
No,
is not about
I want to.
charity in
No,
terms of,
no, no. It's not.
corporal work of mercy. That's not what we're talking about.
Now,
Continue.
now, I couldn't. I don't want to help. I neglected that.
Uh-huh.
Revising on my own side, something happened to me, and someone, because anything we act in this life, people sees that. You may be thinking that no one is observing you. Someone is observing you, just that the person may keep quiet, decide to keep quiet on his own. Now, for me not to help you, something emergency came on my own side. And another person who happens, the person could have rendered that
Were you
help to
behaving
me.
like the person?
But because
were you behaving like the example?
no, but because I
want to know, were you
neglected.
behaving like the example you are giving?
What?
Were you behaving like the example that you are giving? The person that wanted to come to your aid, were you docile, responsible, accountable, unlike this person?
Yeah.
Because society will never be better if we think like that. That's why most of us from Africa, we are just like that. Developing countries.
What I'm
Society will
seeing,
never be better
no,
this
no.
way.
What I'm seeing,
People, we should learn how to hold people responsible, and people should be responsible and mind their own business too. Whatever the consequences come, you take it. You take
now,
it. It's because of this community mindset, which of course I love, but that community mindset in the modern life nowadays is collapsing. Because right now we have so many ways of exposing us. We have WhatsApp, we have social media. Our forefathers who were living community life never had it. The community life is perfect, but the point is not the war. It doesn't, because we were in Africa then. We weren't in Thailand then. So in our own, let's say Nigeria, let's say where you are coming from, we're just community like this. There wasn't global influence. There wasn't civilization influence. So, but now we have global influence, so many things. I was still sticking into community, just like being in Thailand, having this association, come on. If we don't have what it takes to be in a global society, we should stop going there. Instead of going there to cause chaos and confusion. So responsibility is responsibility. If somebody has done something this, and this is the consequence, allow the person. If it is me, allow me, please, don't even come.
so okay, what I'm saying here, what I'm saying, if another person refuses to render that help, that is the same help.
So don't forget, you are talking from the mindset of an African, where government rarely look at the governance, rarely look at what it means to take care of their people.
Yes.
Don't forget, if you leave this African mindset, what we are saying is taken care of in most of other countries where things are doing very well.
Yes.
It's because of this religious mindset, colonial mindset. That's why we are thinking that somebody's just run mad. Come on. There are people who take care of mad people. They come and pick them on the street.
Yes.
It's just because of... So if this community, I remember the name I was called when I was in the senior seminary community. Community, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because it worked when we were there. But not now you come into another country. They have their own rules and regulations. You must follow it. And then when you come in here, you left your country with lower economy, with naira depreciating, if I may use. Now come into a place where $1 million naira is 20,000 baht, and you didn't even you sold land before coming. There is no other hope for here. Then you come here and enter into whatever. Yeah. Why shouldn't the person run mad, or person start to smoke, or start to drink whatever where he left over? Come on, let us be frank. I don't want to deceive myself in all this. You cannot Africanize the world, because that's why we are poor and that's why we are rejected. We don't want to face the reality. The reality is reality.
Prof, I think we don't differentiate between principle and wickedness.
We don't differentiate what?
Between this person is principle
Uh-huh.
and wickedness. We think when you are principle, you are wicked.
Exactly. That's the point. And that's why we are not growing. And that's why we are not growing.
This not Nollywood.
And that's why we are suffering.
That's just it. And I'm not wicked.
Believe it or not, in this class, that is why we are suffering. Most of us here are from Africa. That's why we are suffering. That's why we're not respected.
if your principle affected someone badly and another
It's not
person's
principle, the person-
and another person's principle affected yours, how will you feel?
No, principle is not personal. Principle is a standard.
Oh, it's a personal
It's not
something that
personal,
you
it's
establish
standard.
on your own self. You have your own principle. I have my own
That's a
principle.
different thing altogether. You're talking about philosophy of life. Principle is standard.
How is it standard?
It's standard. The principle just not
Because the principle you have may not be principle that I have.
no, maybe you don't understand what is principle. Principle is standard. But after that, you now get your own personal principle that will meet.
No, I'm talking about personal.
Hold it. Your personal principle that will meet into the standard one. That the general, for example, in the constitution, every country has a constitution, right?
Yes.
In every country, you have association with their own constitution, right? In every country, you have a town with their own constitution. But that constitution, they're all anchoring on the general constitution of the country. So principle is one. It's not. Sometimes what makes you think like that is because
it differs.
Well, listen. What makes you to think like that is because
Yes.
maybe myself or yourself, you have chosen to maintain that standard principle. So these other persons are seeing you as a principled person. But actually, the real principality there is because the real principle there is because you may have been a product of a particular institution that emphasized on that principle of general principle, and you're now structuring your life based on that. So this other person might now consider. So it's not for me. It's not personal.
When two approaches come together, liberal and conservative, and this principle you are talking about now, a liberal-minded person establishes a principle, while a conservative establishes a
Which
principle.
is perfect.
Now, for
because
example,
they are all in a society with a guiding principle.
well, for example, the United States policies and principle right now is mostly affecting some countries now, whereas there are countries who rejected that very principle. Now, how can you check and balance or
Don't be carried away with
just oppose
don't be carried away with political statements.
No, it's not about political statements.
Whether you like it or not,
yes,
principle remains a principle.
who is maintaining a good standard in the country now?
Even in the United States, let me presume that what you are talking about, even in the United States, still holds, despite political statements, despite political correctness. It can never be touched. If you leave it from United States and go to another country, it is the same, just like Thailand here. Don't forget, when the United States, by Trump, from Republican, said this about male and female stuff, which is myself, I agree with him. But don't forget, at the same time, Thailand is legalizing their own, and other people are but they now sanctioned it.
Yes.
The point is that this area you are going now does not even affect any principle. Because the fact is that the main general principle is that you are a liberal-minded person. And then mind your business. Don't infringe into my right by forcing me, by coercing me, or raping me, or harassing me. No, you will now enter into a different principle. Because there is a general principle. Then the same thing applicable to you, a conservative person. Don't even force what I wouldn't like to accept into me because of that you. Now you are infringing on my right. The essence we are talking about here, people to mind your business. It doesn't mean that we are no longer in a community, because we know that we are in a community and every community is guided by constitution. You just get that. But when you get into private life, the way you shower in your bedroom is not the way I shower. If you want to go and pee here, the way you pee is not the way I pee. So that individual thing, but it's more anchor on the general principle. Because I dress up very well, I'm on my own, this is my office. And there are rules and regulations of the university that I must concur, I must abide with because I signed a contract. This has nothing to do with my personal principle. The main principle is philosophy of the university, the guiding principle of my contract. But when I decide that it's now infringing on me as a person, I resign. So that there will not be conflict unnecessary.
Okay, because I'm still a little confused on this because when Joe Biden was in siege, I believe so much there was a set of principles that he enshrined in their constitution or in their policy makings over there. Now, as Trump came in, there are some principles of Joe Biden he thrashed out.
Principle of Donald Trump is Republican principle. Principle of Biden, if I may use that word, is a democratic principle.
In general,
but then
is it a standard one?
They have a unified principle called the United States Constitution. And that is why certain things Trump will do now, do election next 4 years, Democrat will take over. It still goes back to that principle of their own party, in line with general principle of freedom, democracy, human rights. But don't forget, the Democrat might make a mistake of coercing, of creating a situation where kids, very young, how do you call it, will go to the school, you start to teach them and ask them whether they like to be a man or they like to be a woman. That's the extremist. So what Prof has done is just trying to bring back to the common sense. Or let's say that a man who may have did some operation and now said that he's a woman and you now want him to compete with male in the same sports. But you know, biologically, it's not the same. So you don't confuse extremism with principle. Because in my own view, they are extreme. The Democrats are very extreme. They want extreme.
Which means they don't work in line with the set of principles.
There is already a principle of human right in which you can just ask somebody can decide whatever he wants. But remember that every constitution, there's always a loophole. Yeah. So they will now anchor, they're using the principle of that particular constitution to perpetrate whatever they are doing. That is what Trump came now, using the same principle. Otherwise, he won't be the president. Otherwise, they will fight. So the principle is a standard norms, and in this case, human right, freedom to do whatever you want.
But okay, sorry for asking more because I want to be clear on this. This will I say both the gay marriage and everything, was it enshrined under international law? That
what is enshrined under international law is freedom.
Freedom, yes. Which means is a standard and general principle which you can interpret whichever way. Okay, depending on the kind of interpretation you give it to yourself.
Yeah, depending on which country accept that particular interpretation.
Okay, which means the freedom now. It is now the choice of every country to know if they will accept that particular freedom of.
I will agree with that. Just like in our African country, we don't accept gay, we don't accept lesbian. But the fact that we don't accept it does not mean that 80% of us, are not inwardly practicing such.
So there is some set of principles being enshrined under United Nations Charter that most countries do not accept.
It depends. You have to give me an example so that we cannot presume and assume.
Because if a country can say, okay, we don't want to go into this gay marriage and everything, it means that there may be a principle enshrined under that United Nations Charter that they will not like to include in their own constitution.
Yes, that's it. They have the right for that. Because it's their country. It's their country. But don't forget, the fact that country agrees on that does not mean that individuals on daily basis are not practicing such. That is why the United Nations have seen up this deception and they felt that it's better to allow people to be free. Why are we hiding? Somebody like me might be practicing that and I come into my country and close myself. Who is deceiving who? So that's why United Nations, as country gather, they did some research and found out that this human nature moves towards this kind of area most time, whether you like it or not. Then they allow people to be free, so that they even come out freely, instead of doing things at the back, hiding, and they still come out and say, I'm a saint.
Among the SGD goals.
But you know, technically, anybody that is a member of the United Nations should accept every of their law without excluding anyone.
But some people did not sign. It's not a must. There's always something to give to sign. You may not sign. Your country may not sign. Your country may be observing to know how it affects you. And don't forget, all these things are just Western colonized, Western colonial kind of world we are entering, because they are the superpower and they made us less powerful. How did they make you and I less powerful? You are answering a manual which has nothing to do with your forefathers for whatever way you can think of. I am answering a manual. The same thing is applicable to the language you are using now. They made you to use your ABCD, which is about British ABCD. Where is your own? So that everything has been dismantled. It's not now that you come and say, I don't want to belong to this. They say, come on, who is deceiving who? Look at the Facebook nowadays that's coming from our country, and look at, try to create any sexually attractive thing in the Facebook and see how many views you will get. And then go to Facebook and start teaching something that, diplomatically, and then compare your view and compare with this other person's view. He will get. Now you find out that people are deceptive. How do you call it? Deceptive, yeah. There are a lot of lies, a lot of fake life. When shall we come to say, be who you are? Because the world has shattered our constructive and conservative nature. What we are now doing is pretending and hiding. And some people might be living a pattern of life, and when you gather among your brothers, you pretend as if you never lived it. And some people are making money based on that. And when you gather and pretend as if you have nothing, you're sent. Which one is better? To be who you want to be or who you think and live free with life, or be hiding or hide and seek game. Even some people who are criminals, when you talk about criminality, they will be the first to want you to kill a criminal. They will be the first to want you to kill a criminal, but they are criminal. It happens. This is human nature. So I will align with the people who want to let everything be open and see it as it is, instead of pretending. Because that's why why do you think there are a lot of conflicts in the villages, in the towns, in the states in Africa? Because, conflict. Our communitarian worldview is no longer working in this modern world, and we are not reflecting on why. And we're not even doing research to get the answer. The only research we do is gossip. Gallivanting, junketing, malingering, talking bullshit. That's the only research we do. And yet, immediately after that community you must have left, you still see people committing a lot of things and doing so many things. And they still come and and that's why in those days, the people you think are very quiet, you see they're pregnanted, they're very small baby, you begin to wonder, I thought this is a Christian, I thought this is a good guy. It's not like that. Sorry, I lived that kind of pretentious life before, not now. Amen? Amen. Just accept who you are. The most important thing for me is to make sure you have a good heart. And you treat people good. And you serve people as much as you can. But to think about all these things that has to do with someone's private life and me to be talking about it, I think I passed that stage. You may continue with that stage, I beg. Okay, so let's continue. The question has taken political view of conflict. Political view of conflict. Hello? Are you there? I think this one we know it very well. In politics, conflict is more explicitly defined. Conflict is said to exist when two or more groups engage in a struggle over values and claims to status, power, and resources, in which the aims of the opponent is to neutralize injure, or eliminate the rivals. Conflict is a demonstration of a cross-purpose of distinct or similar political group, which often ends in a political violence. And when contextualized in the Weberian sense, it is an acceptable weapon to violate anger. Hello? Any comment? I think this was very clear to everybody. Political conflict, Machiavellian principle. The end justifies the means. In our country, I think we have APGA, we have Labour, we have APC. I think I'm going to join APC very soon. Not because of Tinubu, but because of other people that I think they are doing good. Excuse me. Okay, ma, which party do you belong now? Ah, you are still in PDP. You don't want to change? Emmanuel Obi. So which party do you belong in Nigeria? Which party are you intending to join? APC is where we are heading to APC now. Do you agree with that, Ogema? Emmanuel Obi, do you agree with APC?
Yes, sir. I will never.
You will never? That means that you're not a good politician. What if APC gives you what you are looking for?
Yeah.
This kind of experience.
What if the APC gives you what you are looking for?
What if,
Do you have mic there?
No, I don't believe that.
Don't believe.
I don't believe.
Hey, that is quite extra.
Again. Why don't you believe in any party?
Why I never believe in any party is that since all these parties has started ruling.
Why did you do political science, by the way?
Now,
Why did you choose to do political science?
If you are to check,
you did political science, and your age mate in your village is is a counselor, and they're getting into politics, and you are here running away from the course you did.
The reason,
and you think Nigeria will be better?
The reason.
By the way, do you think you'll be better when you become a politician in Nigeria?
If I don't understand.
Do you think you'll be better off? I mean, you will be a better politician if you become a politician in Nigeria.
If I become a politician in Nigeria. If the people ruling, because
I'm not talking about people ruling, I'm talking about you.
Huh?
What we need to do surgery on your brain.
No,
so that you understand that the change starts from you. Change starts from you. If you become a politician in your village right now, do you think you'll be a better politician? Why? And why not?
I think the way, having studied Nigerian politics so far, and I've seen many people.
Talking about you.
Wait, I want to just oppose something before I
tell me about you. Don't just oppose. This is about you. This is about you. We don't need permission from them. Don't just oppose. Don't just oppose. This is about you.
There is a question when you ask. You don't expect me to answer straight.
Emmanuel Obi.
No. I have to elaborate.
Are you going to be a
I have to elaborate. I have to elaborate.
You don't need to elaborate anything. This is about you.
I will.
This is about you.
I will. I will be a good politician.
How will you? How will you?
Now, the reason is this. I have already studied the politics in Nigeria.
It's not about studying.
So wait.
How are you going to be a better
That is what I'm saying.
Starting from your village.
I saw
already you have failed because you're not in your village now.
What?
Already you have failed because you're not in your village now. You left your village for those people who did not even read political science, who would not even lead people better, and you are here.
Yes, I left my village to come here in order to change my mindset and see how system works better.
So-
And I will go back there and
When you go there, they will kill you,
institutionalize
man.
a new better society for them.
Then, by the time you come back, they will not even accept you.
If they are wait, if they allow me to achieve what I have for
why
them,
do you say if they allow you? Why
Yes.
can't you find your way?
what?
Excuse me. Why can't you find your way? Why should you wait for them to allow you?
Yes, I have to. They should allow me to do that
Why
because
should you wait for them to allow you?
I am not the first
Politicians
person.
don't wait to be allowed.
No, I am not the first. For you to fight corruption, for you
Which
to
corruption
fight,
are you fighting?
for you to fight corruption and reset.
You already corrupt by leaving your country to come
No,
here.
it's not corruption. People migrate to adapt to a new environment in order to change their view system.
Agreed. But
So when I
then,
come back, if I go
Agreed.
back to Nigeria now and become
then
a
you change it
politician,
overnight, right?
I will. No, it's not gonna be easier for me.
Then
but
where,
I will try
if
to
you go back to
sensitize
Nigeria,
first.
where are you heading to?
Now,
are you
yes.
heading to your village? Are you heading to your local government? Are you heading to the
I
federal?
will start from the grassroots level.
Well, which one is grassroots level?
Yes,
according to
from
you?
my local.
Yeah. So which means you don't need permission. Now when you get there, they will support you based on what they have seen in you.
When I start sensitizing them based on the
Don't teach
information I
anybody
have.
anything. Teach by your lifestyle.
How? What? I don't
Show
understand.
them how good you are by
Yes, let's
sacrificing.
say,
your life.
wait. Let's say
They
I
will
have
even
money.
be the one.
No, wait. After living here,
They will
I
even
made
be
the
the one
money
to-
here,
to-
and I go there,
appoint you.
and they see some charities I'm applicating over there, helping people.
Where do you get the money
You
from
know,
the charity? Durungongo or whatever. I want to know where will you get the money to do charity for the villagers? The villagers.
We are just trying to talk about the needs. What we need is the result. So you don't need to know what I do to make the.
Oh, and you think you're going to be a good politician?
I will.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul.
I will.
He's robbing Peter to pay Paul, correct?
Most of the countries we see in around the world, they do bad. They extort countries.
And that's why you should do bad in your village in order to help the poor.
If you want that, I can do that to establish a good country.
Your foundation is already a problem.
No, because nobody sees as bad. People that are extorting the poor Africans now, are they good or bad?
So now you want to you have to become a good politician by starting people, right?
There must be a device. There must be a device. Because them that are doing that now, they are not seeing it as
Okay. Thank you very much. Mmadụ were gwongwongwo wesị ha na-eme ewere gwongwongwo isi dị na-eme kindness maọbụ ego 419. We're not talking about we're talking about you. Okay, Mike.
So I have a question, and the question is also relating to everything we are discussing because we are talking about conflict resolution, and there's something I have observed as a Nigerian coming from Nigeria. My observation is that I've observed that it is very difficult for a Nigerian to work with someone they don't agree with, like someone they don't really accept, agree, not necessarily accept, agree with their lifestyle or worldview.
I'm one of them actually.
Yeah, it's very difficult for an average Nigerian to work with that person. And I'm asking, and my question is, why is that so?
Because in my own view, that's because we are left much to be desired to be human. We are scattered. We are a lot of confusion.
In my own view is that because our foundation.
Can you give me mic so that you know what you're saying? We hear what you're saying.
In my own view, is because our foundation of political system is not solidified. by the first people who
Is,
played the
that,
politics.
is our family unit solidified? Our parents' upbringing, is it solidified?
But
What if my mom
Uh-huh.
is every time they're having one issue or the other, and I learned from that.
No,
the same thing with my
but
dad.
in
What if my
political-
family is
no.
full of conflicts here and
Wait,
there?
in politi-
Because it has nothing to do with political system.
Wait, in political system, there is law there is constitution to rule. There is
Okay,
constitution
but
guiding
then
your
if
leadership.
you have a good foundation from a family upbringing, even all of us in this class, starting from me, even all of us in this country, you see behavioral differences. You see pattern of behavior difference. If you see how someone will respect you and respect everything about around you because the parents have told him that. He learned that from his parents, not from politicians. So if you talk about political class, always talk about family as well. Because most of us, politician or no politician, are coming from, excuse me, distorted family upbringing.
Now, if we are to juxtapose all these things or making a comparisons, are you not telling me that the leaderships, those leaders over there in Europe who are making provisions for their citizens, are they, let me say, are they 99% background formatted very well?
Even from the parents over there, it takes two to tango. Even the parents, the family unit itself, when they want to get married, they decided how many children, and sometimes they don't even have anyone, and sometimes they have only one. Think of Thailand here, even, don't go far. So they plotted all these things on time. You cannot compare with an African system where we think that because we are capable of producing children, therefore you marry 10, you marry 20, get 50 kids, and none of them, if you ask them, they say, "Chukwu na azụ nwa."
Because you okay now, okay,
God gives a child.
Now
we hope on God.
Let's see.
And even at that, some of us will leave training of our children to go to the church and pray. You see, sleeping in the church, waiting for a manna to fall. Come on, let us be frank.
But let us be reality. Because in over there in Europe, they still pay old people who doesn't work.
And then how can you pay when our foundation is distorted?
They give incentives.
When the foundation
they
is
give
distorted,
scholarships
why can't
to
we
people
pay
who
our
are
old
not
people?
accessible to the education
If
or finance?
our foundation is distorted, why can't we pay the old people?
What? Again?
Why can't we pay ourselves? Who is preventing us? Is anybody stopping us from paying?
Now, what I noticed from Nigeria is this. If a particular political system you are practicing is not favorable to the citizen, you change another political system.
How can you change when we are waiting for heaven and hellfire?
It lies on the leaders.
The world doesn't belong to us.
It lies on the leaders because
it's not leaders. It's your mom that told you.
It lies on them.
It's your mom. It's your dad.
If this president,
it's your mom, it's your dad that told you to wait for heaven and hellfire. Even currently, the political leaders are trying to wipe it out. But your mom and your dad, my mom and my dad, they told us to wait for heaven.
No, you have to extract this from religious and government. Government has its own body. Religious has its own body. The government is being guided by a constitution and by that government. So if a government fails to abide with what is written in the constitution, consider the government a failure.
What the first government a child sees is the father and mother. And that father and mother has the responsibility to teach and bring the child up very well. But we fail that also. I am not saying that government should not work, but don't push it all to the government because your mom and your dad, my mom and my dad, they have failed where they're supposed to take part in training their children.
Why I'm pushing it to the government? This is a threat.
But you're not being fair.
First, this is a threat.
The main government a child sees is the father and mother. Let's continue. Conflict may arise, then the parties are likely players competing for the same prize, such as power, position, authority, territory, material, or disagreement about the rule of the game. There are various factors enhancing the conflict behavior in parties. Misperception, impoverished communication, hostile activities, oversensitivity to difference, misjudgments, anarchic social situations, and the competitive spirit led to distorted view that may intensify and perpetuate conflicts. We know this very well. Most political party, this party will be fighting the other party and be lying. Remember, during the time for election, the politicians will start to ride on motorbike, even bicycle. They go to the market, they never went in their life just to get something. Once they get it, goodbye. Okay. So religious conflict. We don't need to waste time here because we know what that means. Politicians often use religion. And then religious conflict, I will bring it in the sense that those who brought us religion in our African system, do you think they did very well by naming you and I the name we never knew who the person is or the person was? This is Michael, this is Sylvester, and this is Dixon, very nice name. And then you are Sepi. Okay. Yeah, but he has his own Indonesian name. He doesn't have English name. Do you have? Uh-huh. Indonesian. Huh? And this is Xavier, Innocent, Xavier. So many of them is carrying. And this is Emmanuel. My own, I'm Emmanuel. And this is also Emmanuel. Jesus is with us, right? Uh-huh. Jesus is, and this is Toby. Okay, yeah, Yoruba name. Of course, it's only mostly Igbo people.
I will say that it's just a mistake from our parents. Yes, because
that's what I'm telling you. That the problem is from our parents as well.
It's a mistake from our
not
parents.
Not political science. Look at all of us.
In terms of
the names of strange people you never met in your life, and you are brainwashed. I'm also brainwashed into waiting for heaven. And whether you like it or not, if anything happens to me now, it's Jesus. It's from kindergarten, from primary school, from secondary school. You cannot even let go. And we are still stuck with it. And yet we came in a country like Thailand that doesn't believe in something like that. And there is light every time. Tell somebody to go back home. Going back home looks like if you are telling him to go to hellfire. In his own country, where we read Bible from Genesis to Revelation. Who is deceiving who, my brothers? It's only when you do a brain surgery and religious surgery, then you understand who is deceiving who. Because the better, even in the church we enter, you still be in the church and keep your money, you will not see it again. You keep your phone, you will not see it again. The kind of gossip we gossip both for us and that church, the kind of destruction we do to ourselves, and only the church that we proclaim very well, but then have anything to do with the person, even simple business, you'll be shocked. Look at our faces and the church we're talking about. I beg, give me a break.
Well, you know what is happening now over in your town. You know how things.
Because of Soludo.
Is that a religious conflict that he's trying to instigate? Yes, that is what we are saying. This is a religious conflict. He just gearing to religious conflict.
Soludo is indirectly doing religious conflict.
It's a religious conflict.
Soludo is indirectly doing a religious conflict because he has not done that to the pastors.
Yes.
He has not done that to the. He has not done that. No.
It's against.
The itself, even the religion, African traditional, don't even support it. So it's not something new. Most of them were saying against it ever Soludo came in. But the point is that he first of all said that Anambra State is
a Christian state. It's a trash.
That statement alone defines any other thing that comes after that.
Because we have freedom.
Because the intention will be that you're now dealing with the Dibia, the bad ones. I don't know how do you even define which one is bad. But the point that he made a political statement that's very dangerous.
It's even against the law.
Christian state. It's
against the law, even in the Nigerian constitution.
It's against the Nigerian constitution. You don't say that because we have freedom of worship. And then look at what he said, where he said those things. It's just that he's making mockery of African traditional religion. Soludo, look at his voice, look at what he has done, his policy. Then you can look at his statement, then you can define what he's doing. And then Christians are jumping, clapping hands, that the power of darkness, how do they call it? Power of light has taken over. You see that? And yet Christians are the real problem we have in Africa. The way we embrace the strange religion. Why are we here, you and I, in this country? We can't even go back. Some of us going back immediately 2 weeks. They already started calling to come back in a country that's not Christian. Why don't go and stay in a country that's Christian so they enjoy your life? Come on. Who is deceiving who? Okay, so there are so many. I think I chose only these two. So questions. Okay, so any contribution, Chika? You are absent-minded in this class?
It's a lot of things. So.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's true. I think you have some. You are playing football, right?
No. I respect what man.
Did you use that insurance card? Okay, your own has expired.
That's why I was asking you the government hospital because the last one I used, I end up paying extra 2,000 baht.
Unless you don't know how to use it. Unless if it's more than that. Anyway, let me.
It was more than that.
Okay, yeah, if it's more than you can, depending. Okay, so today's class, we are coming to an end. I would like us to summarize the class on the conflict. So each person will tell us what do you understand in today's class as we are rounding up. So the summary. Let's start from Chiedu. What are you going home with in today's class? Tell us what you are going home with in today's class.
Wow.
Or you're not going to going home with anything?
Okay.
Tell us.
What I'm going home with is the definition of conflict. We might all understand. What is it? What is it? Okay, what I'm going home with is the meaning of conflict
Yes.
and
then what is meaning of conflict?
okay,
Summarize so that we will
And
not stay extra.
the causes. Okay. In my own understanding, I would say that conflict is a disagreement, a clash between two people or organization. For example, like I said earlier.
Are you starting another class?
No,
Okay.
what I'm taking home with, what I'm going home with.
Not one or two sentences to summarize it in a way that I will not accept it too. But you have to just tell us something so that we know where we're heading to.
Okay. What I'm going home with is the meaning of conflict.
What is the meaning of conflict?
In my own understanding, I would say conflict is disagreement or fight between two people.
And so, are you going home with solution? What is the solution of your meaning you're going home with?
Well, the solution I'm going home with is like Sylvester said that you should follow your terms. Yeah. You get that you should follow someone's terms.
That's
and follow
actually
your
how.
own. You
Let
understand?
me add that that's
Instead
actually
of,
how our African traditionalists kept it. There are many things of today where in our African setting that it has been there, but they just allowed it now.
Yeah.
They put it in that way. You and your God. Actually, just this our modern time that we're trying to interfere too much into people because somebody may have traveled to America and came back, traveled so many places and came back, trying to impose. That is why our system is scattered. But in a real African cosmological nomenclature, you will see that we believe in Igbo nomenclature, Igbo cosmology, Onye na Chia. This is your life, and that is how you are. And nobody should come and interfere. I don't think there's anything I've read in the Western education that is strange, that is new. All these things are there in our African system. But just that we are confused people, if you may ask me. That is why we're having a lot of conflicts. Okay, so thank you very much. Do you have another thing to say? Okay, so Mike, what are you going home with? The points and the solution.
What I'm going home with is that conflict is part of human existence, and as people that live in the society, we must understand this fact first of all, and then look for a way to resolve conflict when it arises. So basically, what I'm saying in essence is that conflict is part of us, and when it comes, we should find the best way possible.
What's the best way do you find when it comes to you?
Depends on the kind of conflict that comes.
Just give us, yeah, it's you now. Give us one example that if this one comes to you, look at how you handle it.
Okay, for example, I am the outgoing person. Like I like to mingle, I like to go out.
And
I like
Shedu
to,
would like you to stay inside.
and he's the furniture. He likes staying inside the house. All right, so I wouldn't want to impose my nature on him. Yes, and I have to understand. I have to, because I stay with him. I have to understand the kind of personality he is, and I wouldn't want to impose my outgoing nature on him. So I would respect his boundary. You understand? So that is example. That is
Wonderful.
kind of
Okay, Seppi, what are you going home with? And solution.
No, conflict will always happen in the
Close your
society.
stomach because that's not.
Conflict will always happen in the society. Your explanations on this class that in the political aspect there's so many conflict, in the social aspect, even in the within ourselves, we will have a conflict between me and myself. Yeah.
So what's the solution?
The solution. So from every conflict, maybe we can take a lesson, like how to.
You take a lesson on conflict resolution.
Yeah, take a lesson like.
So the lesson you take will now be this one.
How to handle the conflict in the future, for example, like through a conflict. How to what? How to. What's the questions?
Oh, I don't know the question again.
And the last one. Oh no.
Solutions.
The solutions. Just be mindful in every conflict that happens in our life. Yeah, just be mindful and try to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chika.
All right. Taking home today is to understand that conflict even starts from the womb. When we are all babies,
Yeah.
and also to solve the situation of conflict is just to make sure that
We are running up.
before you start speaking with someone, you have to ask the person to define his or her terms to enable the communication to flow clearly so that he will follow you with your own terms and you will follow the person with his or her own terms. Thank
Okay.
you.
So, from my own point of view, conflict goes with every human relation. Then it could either be resolved or managed. But in the center of it all is understanding and communication. With this, conflicts will either be managed or resolved if possible. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Professor Dare, do you want to say something?
I've said it. What I learned is that just mind your business
and I mind my own. If I tell you this thing is not good, you don't listen to me. When you have problem, me too, I will don't mind my decision.
That's a very practical way. And that is actually, if we can learn that, that would be very wonderful. Mind your business. When shall we tell people, especially people from developing countries? One of the major conflicts we are having is just whenever somebody is starting to prognose into another person's life. Can you learn in this class, if not other thing, to mind your business? I will ask you this after the question. Okay, Emmanuel. Obi?
Okay, I learned that everybody should manage each other. You manage me, I manage you as well.
Business. A company.
Now, you let me be, I let you be as well. When you see me acting, you see it like this is his life he's living. If you see me in trouble, if you decide to help me, you help. And I will thank you. If you decide not to help me, you let me be. I die in my own case. But as far as I'm concerned in this class, and the things I learned is just manage me, I manage you. Let there be compromise. Because there are things that when you see, you have to let go. Because what each and every one of us lack is compromise. No one is eager. No one is free to compromise. No one wants to compromise. And it has become a problem even in the international community, down to individuality. So if we learn how to compromise, if we learn how to manage each other, I think there will be reduction
Of
in
conflict.
conflict.
You're
Thank you.
very correct.
But what if your problem will be
I agree with you very well. Please, Chase, if you want to go home, you can go. All right, give Mike, you want to say something?
So my question is on this idea of respect or respecting one's boundary, and where do we draw the line? Like when it comes to holding someone accountable or kind of giving advice to people. Because if we are just too open with this whole respect yourself, I respect my you wouldn't be able to advise somebody or correct somebody. The place of
Yeah,
correction.
but the content of respect yourself and respect others also includes that you respect me and you want to seek an advice from me.
Yeah, because
You know, when we make it generic, it looks as if it's anti-community. No, in my own view.
Yeah.
So when you say respect yourself and respect, does not necessarily mean respecting me means that as you call me prof, maybe you think I have some ideas. You come in to seek a particular idea. Or respect you mean that maybe you're a footballer, you know a lot of things. For example, you know a lot of things about YouTube, you know about social media. I want to enter, I go to you to seek your advice. That is part of content of this respect does not, in my own view, disconnect us from community life. It doesn't disconnect from being charitable to one another. I see it as the best kind of principle of respecting my talent, respecting my gift, respecting the fact that I've come to add to humanity. That's why I view it. It's holistic. It's not just respect in terms of simple, oh, go stay there, and I stay there. I wouldn't think so.
yeah, so now what now happens if my trying to advise or correct somebody is misinterpreted as
It is normal. It's bound to
misinterpreted?
happen. There's no two ways about it. In fact, I have so many uncountable cases of people that I'm very loose in talking, and I'm too open to be around. So there are so many things that people have misinterpreted, and someone has misinterpreted about me, and there are so many people he interpreted correctly too. The point is that I don't know how we get it. I am not God,
Yeah, because my
and I
question
don't
is,
want to make anybody to see me as a saint. Don't ever, it pains me when somebody come and give me impression as if I'm a good person. I know I could be to some extent, but I would prefer if you put me at the equilibrium. I am not that monster. At the same time, I have my own weaknesses. That is why we are talking about yesterday, for those who attended yesterday class. Principle-centered leadership is anchoring on the fact that you're a leader being led with principle, and part of the principle means that you made a mistake and accept it. You had a moral lapse, certain things you may have done that is not correct, and you accepted. That is why your principal leader is not because you are sent, but that you now believe in your humility. I say humility is somebody accepting whoever he or she is before the God. So, if you follow that mantra, it means that when we are, in my own view, when you are talking about respect yourself, and it means what it actually means, not just lexical name, respect, but going deeper, understanding that this is this person's office, understanding that this is this person's personality, understanding that this is this person's chosen lifestyle. There's no need gossiping against it. There's no need telling people talking about another person's life, or there's no need even talking about someone's office with someone else. You can, of course, we're human, but make sure that in talking about it, you're not creating a monster of conflict. That is my own view. If you study conflict very well, you understand, and then in relation to the solution. So when somebody say manage you, for example, one of you say manage you, I manage, meaning in my own view, I don't know whether that includes or his own view, but in my own view means that the generality of who I am and generality of what he or she is, and accepting that. And accepting that also means that maybe you have dialogue with the person, you have talked with the person, and accepting that also means that you looked at the psychological makeup of the person. Let's say somebody like me that has a feminine nature. You know that every person that has feminine talks too much. And you know that everybody that you know already that when you come to me, you're ready for that. Yeah, because this is this person. Chick, I don't know if you get the point. Because this is this kind of personality. Forget that because professor and then we are on tie, right? Forget this is just the thing of yesterday. But there is the makeup of this particular individual. You cannot change it from the person. It came from biological construct. It is maybe a DNA something or whatever. The same is applicable to some people that you see. You call it a tom lady, tomboy. That is her in this world. She came with that. And the same thing with the people that came with this kind of feminine, a man with feminine. Come on. How can you be blaming and accusing or gossiping someone that came from his mother with a particular kind of a neuron? You are not, you have to manage it. And that goes back to what Emmanuel Obi has said, and I'm in my support of UN, because they did a lot of research and found out that certain things are there. You can't change it. The fact that you are lucky not to be there cannot make you the God of this particular person. Are you guys getting the point? Because that is why there's conflict. You want to become the God of someone that God created and the way He created him or her. Come on. That's where education comes in. And that's why every country respects people of chosen lifestyle or wherever. There are lifestyles that are biological. And allow them to be. Run away from the person if you don't accept that, but just let the person be there and you be there. But then don't ever infringe into becoming God. Hello? Are you there? So that's my understanding of respect. It doesn't mean we are all quarreling that this person will be there. No, I don't think so.
Okay, I just wanted us to have that balance, because some people may just take it extreme. They don't want to talk to you because this
The person is sick.
This is me, and this is you.
If
Just
the
do your
person is
thing.
extreme, the word extreme means that the person is sick. Okay, who is the next person? Emmanuel.
So not the stability.
Okay, I understood that conflict is one of the challenges that we are facing in the whole world. So, trying to link it to what Obima said by saying that we should correlate every other people. But sometimes it doesn't work that way because tolerance, maybe you are doing something that is against me or something that is weakening me, and you want me to always tolerate you. Or, for example, you always beat your wife and you want your wife to be tolerating that every day. That is not tolerance. Or maybe your wife, or even if you change it, your wife is cheating on you, and you tolerate that? So, or you will say, "Oh, that is her life. It's up to her. She can do it." It's not. It's sometimes you have to check what you are doing, whether what you are doing is affecting other people. So if what you are doing is not affecting the other people, oh, okay, people can manage, or the person can manage it. But if what you are doing is affecting other people, for example,
Okay, if you're Catholic and I am not, and I'm a Pentecostal, do I need to think about your feeling for being a Pentecostal, or you think about my feeling for being a Catholic?
no, it's a religious something that your
Okay.
church, you are for your
Okay, because you're
church.
saying that.
And you are doing, so
because
far you are
I'm-
not killing somebody with that.
I just want to
Something-
make sure you clarify your stand, because if I'm a Catholic, I shouldn't need to consider your feeling to be a Catholic.
No, it's your belief. So far you are not killing somebody and it's not affecting my own belief. It's your this thing. So
So long as it's not affecting you, don't have any issue.
Beating a wife is affecting the other person. I don't think it's correct, because beating someone, whether it's a wife or not even a wife, even beating anybody at all, is not something that is acceptable in my own view.
yeah. I said beating, maybe for example you said maybe somebody can tolerate someone and know that this. If you are someone who beat your wife, will you expect your wife to tolerate you because that is your life? So that
Daddy, I think you want to say something.
also, so that's what I'm saying also.
I was thinking you want to say
Not
something.
cheating wife. You cannot.
This is
Now,
my
you
professor
talk about-
himself.
You talk about
He
beating
just
wife.
joined us.
I think there is a legal procedure in marital status and issues. So, in the case of
And they
beating a
also
wife,
took an oath.
in addition to that, so if a man beats a wife should take a legal process. Thereby, wait, that is manage me. Wait, that is manage me. I manage you, because I don't have to revise back. The only thing I have to do is to make a legal process, and the court will handle the case. So thereby, I've already respected your own right. So going to the legal procedure, I respect your right.
The key point is that once your own
Yes.
does not affect
Can you give Dare, because he wants to?
What?
Don't forget, Dare is our PhD student who is a lecturer now in a high-profile university.
because based on what I have
And
derived
then
from,
let me make a point that he's one of those students that I am very proud of admitting here. But I notice in him a high level of respect, of course, from parents. Not because most of us gossiping around here is from parents as well. And then when the opportunity for job came, when opportunity for job came, I didn't waste time to recommend him strongly. And now I'm very proud of him anyway. Was once my student, but now a professor, very intelligent. Please, can you continue?
thank you, sir, because to avoid all this long talk, what he said is that management he agreed to that extent, but once it does not affect the other person's life, because now what if police catch you now with ogbongbo, you want me to come and help you? Because one, the thing will affect my own image, so I have to back out. So what it means that once your own lifestyle does not affect the other party, so I can manage it. But once it's affecting the other party, no management again, because I cannot come and die for you. You keep on enjoying your own life. It's impossible. Then that's why he cited, what if you are beating your own wife? If you have to manage that beating, no problem.
Mike, give him Mike.
Now, you made mention of Umbongo. I don't want to go through that part because that is I don't want to go there.
Or maybe
But I'm tackling. I'm talking on the basis. I'm talking. I'm talking on the basis. I'm talking on the basis of what he just stated here about fighting. Now, marriage is what is even enshrined on customary court. The constitution, there is a constitution guiding it. When a man beats a woman, the woman should take a legal process. The court will call the person at order.
But
The man should take a legal process as well, and that is balancing. That is respecting of human rights. When you take a legal process, you respect my right.
Wait, based on Prof. Exegesis, right? African community will tell that you have to endure these things, this, your husband, because of your children. But Western world can fight.
No, go.
Also, you put your solution based on the
No,
concept of where you are coming from.
no,
That's it now.
There's a danger.
no, I disagree. Not every case you go to the court, they will file out a divorce letter. No, you can make a legal, you can go for a legal process, and the court will call your husband at order.
Wait, after reporting your husband, are you still going to be a wife?
Yes, now. A psychologist may even come in. Court can, if you
Are
take,
you
wait,
just-
if
are
you
you
go
just-
to the court and say, I love my husband so much, but his attitude on me is not okay. The court can even decide on their own to call a psychologist that will sensitize your husband. Maybe your husband just needs a little talk.
So that psychology will solve the problem.
Of course.
And then he will not beat you again.
Yes.
If he beats you
It
again, you go
happens.
back.
Because no marriage is okay. No marriage is okay. Everybody is facing reality in the marriage.
And then why going to legal?
why are you saying everybody is
I'm married.
Why are you saying everybody?
I'm married.
I'm not married, it's okay. It's not married.
No marriage is okay. Nobody have a perfect marriage.
Okay, now, okay.
There must be conflict. There must be conflict of interest.
Is he like
There must be disagreement.
One in Nigeria.
I'm not a single. I'm not a single man. I'm not a single. No, I'm not a single.
Is he like married?
Because I have a wife, I have a kid. I'm married in Nigeria. Should I show you?
Wait, oh, let the time of no see more. I beg, don't forget I will post this. Post. The Nigerian one will see it. The Nigerian illegal one will see it. And Thai illegal one will see it. And yet you're waiting for the legal one. Oh my God.
Thank you.
In fact, let me end the class on this note. I don't have anything to say. Hey, Emmanuel Odi. Emmanuel, I don't know how to talk again.
It's on record. We have to get it right on record. Because when you post this kind of thing, in conclusion, it's not very much. In conclusion, no marriage. Why did you say so?
Oh my God. Okay, thank you very much. Anyway, I enjoyed the class, and these are critical analysis and also contributions from students and ideologies expressed. So I believe that everybody is entitled to whatever is He has accepted. But what we all agreed is that the world is filled with conflict, and we will also find a way to solve it. And the best way to solve it, some of you express, is manage the situation. That's why they call conflict management, conflict resolution. Okay. Of course, each country has its own way of managing it. Individual will have his own way of managing it. All we need is peace in a society. And since we need peace in a society, we'll look for it, we'll fight for it, and we'll work for it. Meanwhile, let there be peace. Let the peace and conflict, let there be no conflict in the class, and let there be peace in the class. So thank you very much as we go and meet again next week. Thank you, thank you, thank you.